Hello and welcome to the North Project. So my name's North. On our last video we looked at the baseboards and how far we got with those. But today what I want to have a look at is the track plan itself, and I also want to look at some of the different makes, the different manufacturers of the track. Different manufacturers have different point configurations, etc. available, and we want to know what actually fits with what and which fish baits to use. So without further ado, let's have a look at what we've got. So as you can see, this is the track plan. I've drawn this up on any rail, and it is drawn ostensibly with Pico track. However, Pico don't make a turntable. The only people that do make a turntable, and this is what's represented here, is Rocco, and I'm not paying 420 quid for a turntable in TT. So that is something that we're going to have to design and laser cut and build ourselves. So that will be later on. So as you can see, it's a double loop. So we have the 4 main lines coming through here into 2 main lines. Now this is going to be down here, that's going to be a decline. It's going to go all the way down from about here. It's going to go under the bridge and round and under the tunnel. And then it's going all the way around and popping out here, where it then is on an incline. And the incline is going to go all the way up to the bridge and then carry on back into the station or into the small shunting yard there with a good shed, etc. So that's the plan. These are the markings out for the boards. So as you can see, we've got a 6-foot board here, and we've got a 5-foot board there and 2 4-foot boards, and we've got the 5 and the 6 opposite at the top here. So this is just the same plan. As you can see, the mocked up coaches of that and the engine shed are still there and the platforms, but this is just the 2 tracks which are going to split off. There is a reason, but we'll let you know later. And this is what the hidden track looks like underneath. So as you can see, I've got quite a few different sets of points from all the manufacturers, from Rocco, Hornby, Gagemaster, Tillig and Pico. I've also got quite a lot of, I'll put them on here, quite a lot of Gagemaster. Now these are transitional fish plates, and these are normal fish plates. Same again from Rocco. Tillig do have some actual fish plates in there. We've got some Hornby ones and we've got some Pico ones. Interestingly, I don't know whether you'll be able to see this, but the Pico ones are actually the same as the N-gauge ones and are considerably smaller than the Hornby TT ones, and likewise with the Rocco. They're actually quite considerably smaller, and the reason for that is because these are N-gauge, because Pico TT FlexiTrack actually runs with code 55, so they're obviously going to have the same fish plates as the N-gauge, but I think that's where people have been having some problems with matching it up. But let's have a look, because we've also got these transitional, if I can show you there. The transitional ones are split so that they are not, that's actually the wrong side, there you can sort of see. They actually split the 2 curves, so you can actually try and fit them to different types of track, and they're not joined together in the middle. So let's get some track out and let's start fish plating them together and see what can run on what. So just having a look at these points, as you can see, there's quite a lot of difference in the length and obviously the degrees of turnout. Just having a quick look at the actual mechanism for the points, I can tell you that the Tillig ones, they don't have a lock, they don't have a spring or anything. It is just sort of moving and doesn't really stay anywhere. That obviously is going to rely on the point motor to keep it where it is, or whichever way you've decided to to do the points. Pico, on the other hand, we all probably know them particularly well. You can hear it. It clicks through rather nicely. You have the Gauge Master, which is there's a substantial bit that you can actually screw these down. It is quite positive, the movement, but it feels a lot lighter weight than the Pico one does. Hornby, again, something that we know. Nice and solid, reliable. That works well. And then you've got the Rocco. Rocco's the second longest one. Again, it has these things similar to the Gauge Master. And again, this is quite lightweight. And in fact, if you look at the Rocco and the Gauge Master, they're almost, oops, if I can hold them both still, they're almost identical. So now let's get the vernier out and zero it, because that's always good. I'm just going to measure the height of the different rails themselves, not including the sleepers. So with the Tillig one, we've got 2.18 millimeters. With the Pico, which is the code 55, we have 2.19 millimeters. With the Gauge Master, I imagine the Rocco as well. I'm going to find one I can actually grab without the... We have 1.88 millimeters. So that's quite a difference. With the Hornby, we have 2.09 millimeters. But actually, let me grab that a bit better, because I'm just looking for one that can actually grab better than that. Because, yeah, oh sorry, no, it is 2 point. I'll get it right. Yeah, we're talking 2.07. And the Gauge Master, I imagine, is going to be the Rocco is going to be the same as Gauge Master. Yeah, 1.88. So there's quite a difference in the height of these rails. There will be obviously a difference then when they're linked together, if they actually line up. So next thing we're going to do is I'm going to just put all these together in this order and see if we can feel with the metal steel rule, just if there's any bumps, etc. As you can see here, and I'm going to try and bring this closer to the camera for you to see, there is a lot of difference between the size of the larger Tillig and the smaller Pico N-gauge fish plate. Not only that, there is a difference in this is the Tillig profile that you can see, which has just a flat base to it, whereas the Pico, it has like a double flat base to it, which helps it to hold it into the sorry, I'm drifting, helps it to hold it into the sleepers, so that it is very secure, but also then the N-gauge fish plates fit, but the larger ones don't, which make it really difficult to join these up together. So I can tell you that the Tillig, I'll see if I can grab this with this and see if I can, just does not want to go. I am pushing quite hard, pushing quite hard, and I cannot get that to go onto the Pico. And just to show you that it's not just me being a complete dunce. Oh, there it is. That's me being a complete dunce. It does go onto the, there you go, phew. That does go on absolutely fine onto the Tillig track. So Tillig joiners won't go on to Pico track. and Pico joiners, I doubt, will go on to the tillig track. Let's have a look and see if we can do that. No, just looking at the width of it, which is going to be difficult for you to see, but just looking at the width, it's like the same width, so there's nothing there for me to sort of put it round. It's not big enough, but it is an N gauge as opposed to a specific TT gauge. So moving on then to, now the Gauge Master already has a fish plate on it. So will this join up to tillig track? Yes, it will. And will the tillig fish plate go on to the Gauge Master track? If we have a look quickly at the profile of the Gauge Master track, it's very similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar to the tillig in terms of the one single base. Now that's a tillig rail joiner going on to Gauge Master points. Can we mix these together? Will it be okay? Oh, I can't even put track together. I know, take the mic in the comments. There we go, I think. Is that in? It doesn't seem like it's in there. Okay, so the first thing I notice, I'm just trying to, yeah, it is in there. I'm just going to take this off for a second because it does fit on, but there is a considerable height difference. Yeah, it is going in, and there does seem to be a height difference when it's in the Gauge Master thing. Yeah, it is going in. I just wondered whether it was actually going in then, but it does. So on this side, that's the tillig fish plate. On this side, it's a Gauge Master. They're quite a lot flatter. I don't know whether you can see that, but the tillig one's got quite a height to it, and the Gauge Master one, which is the closest one to you, is quite flat. And when we're joining them up, I'm making sure that that goes in there because it does go into its own fish plate quite well. There we go. So what we've got, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it, but I'm going to put the Pico to one side at the moment and just get out my nice little steel rule. What we've got is quite a difference. So from the other side, so we're running this flat, and that's, you can hear it. There's quite a step up, which is going to, well, may affect trains, but it's certainly something that's going to stop you, or may cause interference with your trains. So, Gauge Master and tillig, not very friendly together in terms of height of the track. So take the tillig one out. So far tillig doesn't seem to fit with Pico at all. Can't even use these the tillig fish plates. It just won't go on. It doesn't like it at all. So tillig won't work with Pico. Tillig won't work with Gauge Master. Let's see if tillig works with Hornby. So again, Hornby's fish plates is a little bit flatter. The profile of the Hornby stuff is as you can see, pretty much similar to all the others, apart from the Pico one. So it is a different track. Let's see if the Hornby works with the Tillig rail joiners for a start, and the Tillig works with the Hornby rail joiners. So we can get the Hornby and they both actually work. That is actually not connected in the middle there. Interesting. So the actual Tillig one is not actually connected in the Live Frog. There's just two separate pieces pushed together, and obviously you can see the electrical connection just there. It does run together, Tillig and Hornby, and I don't feel much in the way of any bumps really. And we'll just run the ruler over. There is, I think, a slight, no, there isn't really, no. If by the time you've actually shut these down, there is a tiny bit higher on Hornby, I believe, but not so much as you can ever notice. So that won't affect anything. So Tillig and Hornby track does fit together, and it fits together with each other's fixed plates. So if you find that there's something on Tillig that you would like to put into your Hornby track that Hornby doesn't do, and Hornby does quite a lot on TT, to be fair, in terms of turnouts and different sizes and different sort of turnouts, wide turnouts, etc. I think you'd be pushed to not be able to get what you want with the Hornby track. Certainly though, if you were going to join Tillig track, we'll just join straight up with Hornby track. And even the Hornby one steals the Tillig's fish plate. Right, let's move on. Let's get them all back so we know where they are. Now, I'm guessing that as Tillig and Gauge Master and Rocco are pretty much the same, I'm pretty much thinking that this won't fit in height because I think these two have got a much lower profile than the Tillig has. I mean, incidentally, there's nothing wrong with any of these tracks. They are all great tracks. It's just a case of which one will work with which. And as I thought, there is a bump, but it's not quite as big as the Gauge Master one, weirdly. So let's put that down and we'll run our... Okay, so there is a slight drop from there to there. Run it the other way. There is there is pressure there. So there is a difference in the height, both sides. I can rock it between the two. So there is a difference in height. You can feel it, and I'm not sure if you would be able to use them together. However, this is just with the normal fish plates. So what we do have is some transitional fish plates. We can use the Gauge Master ones, and these fish plates, if you excuse me just opening the packet, and then I will duly spill a load out and lose some probably. There we go, one of them just shot out. So as you can see with these, they are a lot different in terms of there are two separate sides to it. So one side can actually sort of mold to the other side, and also because they're bendable in the middle, I don't know whether you can catch that, whether I can put it on its side or in the back. You can see that, you can't see, you can see that it's got a narrow piece in the middle. Now, how that affects electricity passing through, I don't know. Most people don't rely on electricity passing through these anyway. So, you know, if you've got every piece wired up, then it won't matter. But these ostensibly you could put as a step. So if I pull the Tillig one off and I put this on the Tillig, which it fits very loosely, the Gauge Master one on the Tillig fits very loosely, but we can always nip that down a little bit. And these can be sort of bent up a little bit to, for example, with the Gauge Master, I'm not going to put it into the one Gauge Master, but we'll just put it into the single piece if I can. Well, you're going to be bored by the time I've put the track together, won't you? Right. You can, to some degree, bend that up a little bit. So if you can see what I've done there, I've kind of made a step down. It's not flush, it's flat. I'm trying to show you on here, but yeah, I've sort of bent it a little bit. Then if I run the, or if I run both of them in, but there we go. So you've got the step on this side, this is a bit twisted, but actually on this side now, right, and this is between Tillig and Gauge Master, it is actually quite smooth. There is actually a smoothness to the run. It's actually that dip that's normally created by the Tillig being taller than the Gauge Master. We've now dropped that Tillig down quite a lot. What I would suggest is obviously to, because it does seem like as well the sleepers are a lot narrower on the Gauge Master than they are on the Tillig. So this side here is the Tillig and this side is the Gauge Master. So if I try and show you the sizes of the sleepers, you can see that the Tillig sleepers are quite a lot thicker. So yes, you'd have to pack up I think you'd have to pack up a little bit or shim the Gauge Master to fit the Tillig, but the possibilities are that could, using transitional fish plates, you could actually utilize that. There's the gap's actually the other way around now. So you can sort of bend it to alter it, and I've got it dead center. That is as flat as it can be. So I can feel that. And that's just like two tracks joining together. So, whereas this one, this side, the bottom rail still catches, then the top side, it does catch a little bit, but I can actually alter it and get it so that it doesn't cut, doesn't catch. So transitional, there we go. So that moves quite freely. So you could join Tillig and Gauge Master together, not normally, not with normal fish plates, but with the transitional fish plates, it does give you the option to be able to put two different types together. So, do the transitional ones fit Pico? Because they are quite small. So let's have a look. Okay. So even though the transitional ones are smaller than the original ones, or the standard size ones, they still won't go onto Pico track. So if you're wanting some different sets of points, you are going to struggle. I might just have that, but you are going to struggle to get those locked in together. So yeah, that's not wanting to go on any more. So this is it's quite revealing really that Pico are the ones that do the least amount of turnouts. You only get either the long left or right, or the short left or right, which is very much similar to the size of the Gauge Master in terms of the short turnout. But yeah, struggling to get anything to fit on the Code 55 with that double. Oops, there we go. You can see that at the bottom it's like a double base to it. Which is both good and obviously difficult for mixing it with anything else. So the transitional one and Gauge Master won't actually join those two together. Let's cut open. God, this is where they all go away, all go all over the place, typically. Okay. I managed to keep them together. I'm imagining these Rocco ones are not much different to the Gauge Master ones. I'll show you, as you can see. So very similar. Let's see if these fit on the Pico first for anything. Let's see if we can get some transitional onto the Pico. I don't know if anybody's tried this, but this is really, it doesn't want to. Let's try the other end just to see if it's just me being a complete divot, but no, that is not wanting to go on at all. I'm trying to get it so that it just goes onto one rather than onto two, but no, that won't fit. I'm just wondering whether the big Tillig one will fit, because the Tillig one's quite a lot more open, and whether that would go over both. No, I've just bent it. But no, that's not going to go on either. So, Tillig rail joiners don't go onto Pico track. Just out of curiosity, I'll see if I'm being a complete fool, whether Pico ones go onto Pico track. Whether I can actually put stuff onto Pico track, or is it just me that I'm an idiot? No, that's gone straight on. So yeah, I'm not a complete fool. I can put fish plates on. However, they will only go on to Pico will only go onto Pico track, and you can't put any other rail joiners, not without, you possibly use the Tillig ones, or I would imagine the Hornby ones are quite big as well. So these are a set of Hornby ones, they're quite big. Let's open one of these, see if this will go onto the Pico track. I can't open the bucket. Oh, they've gone everywhere. Right, so this is a Hornby rail joiner, and they're quite quite tall, they're quite substantial, and they will not go on. So the only other thing I can think of is to, without cutting myself, look away now, is to try and open them out a little bit. And see if that works, but I don't know. I could probably do with the screwdriver rather than a knife. Okay, having opened it marginally, let's see if it'll actually go onto a piece of Pico track. And the answer is a resounding no. That doesn't want to at all fit. So the Pico track is, with the double base being code 55, which is the N gauge rail, doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with anybody else's rail joiners. Let's see if so we know the Tillig fits with the Hornby fairly well. It can, with transitional fish plates, fit with the Gauge Master and with the Rocco. This, again, it's the similar thing, if it's just that the rail height is quite a lot different. The Tillig is quite substantial. And the other one, the Rocco, is just less, it's not quite so thick. So there is a step, but transitional fish plates can get you there. Also packing up the bottom of the thinner sleepers on the Rocco and the Gauge Master. So Tillig, Gauge Master and Rocco will fit with transitionals. Hornby and Tillig will fit together absolutely fine. Pico won't fit on anything other than Pico. So that's an interesting find. So now let's look at the Hornby and see if the Hornby will fit onto the Gauge Master and the Rocco. And well, there you go. I messed it up a bit. Now that one seems to be quite tight. It does get on. Right, there we go. That's fitted together. It's actually quite tight. This is Hornby, this is Gauge Master. Now there is somewhat of a step. You can hear it. So there is a step to it. The step is not huge. When you feel it, you can definitely feel a step, but it's not massive. And I think that if you wanted to join it, then you could very carefully just file down the ends of the Hornby so that it's a more smoother join between that and the Gauge Master. It's not a lot of filing to do. I don't know whether I can show you properly, but there is there's the join there, and it's very marginal. This Hornby one here is slightly higher than the Gauge Master one. You can see just a tiny little bit, but it is only a tiny bit, so you could ostensibly file that down a little bit on the ends of the thing. It wouldn't take a lot, so don't go charging in with a grinder. I would probably use a small diamond file and just gently take it down, but it's not the best idea. But if you wanted to get it working, it would. I think something would run over that anyway. There would be a little bump, but it's not huge. So Hornby and Gagemaster work together, not an issue, and the Hornby also then steals the Gagemaster's thing. So there we go. Oh no, that is the Hornby one, so that's fine. So let's have a look with Hornby and Rocco and see if they will play with each other nicely. Right, I'm surprised that didn't go in. That one went in nice. Okay. Yeah, that's gone in together. So again, almost exactly the same. There is a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a bump there that will stop the steel ruler. Steel ruler is only thin, as you can see. It will stop the steel ruler. Depends which way you're going, but obviously, again, it's something with the Hornby ones being slightly taller, the Rocco. But there's no problem fitting them together, and with a tiny little bit of sanding, filing of the Hornby, you should have pretty much a smooth transition. It is the smallest amount. So it's a possibility for the Hornby to match both the Gagemaster and the Rocco track without any major things. If you put transitional fish plates on, to be honest, you could probably make the difference up, and you would just have to shim the underneath of the Gagemaster or the Rocco just to meet up to that height of the Hornby. But definitely doable. So Hornby will match with Rocco and Gagemaster. It does match with Tillig, however it won't match with Pico at all because the rail join is so different. The only way you'd have to do it is to literally, if you were going to put these together, the rail height is actually pretty much the same. However, I think the sleepers on the Pico are slightly bigger. I measure it at 250, 249, or 242, actually 240. Gosh, they vary. Yeah, 246 there, and we're looking at, for the Hornby ones, 231. So there is a difference in the size of the sleepers. The Pico ones are definitely a lot thicker. I'm not sure whether I can show you that on here, but the Hornby ones are, the Pico ones are definitely a lot thicker than the Hornby ones. The angle's so difficult to show you, but if you pause the video you might be able to see it a little bit better. So all in all, Hornby can fit with Gagemaster and Rocco with some transitional and a slight height difference. Tillig and Hornby will work together with just normal, with either fish plates. Pico, on the other hand, won't fit with anything, not without some considerable messing about to get the rails joined. So if you're planning on using some of these, the different sort of turnouts that you can get, then really when you're planning your TT120 out, I'd suggest that you have a good look at what kind of things you want to use first, what kind of points layouts you want to use, and then go with that track that will provide you with all those. Well, I hope you all found that interesting. I certainly did. It's certainly an eye-opener as to which track fits with what, and I hope that that helps you in your future planning for your TT120 layout yourself. But for now, let's get to some baseboard building and finish those off so that we can actually start laying some track. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye for now.